All right, so let's sum this up. What is happening? Let's sum this up. Advertising campaign. We're going to launch a new campaign for a new biscuit, and we're going to use which language?
English?
I mean, yes, of course, English, but which language? Is it persuasive language or fictional language?
Of course.
Or suspense?
Non-fiction.
Yes, we're going to use persuasive language. Persuasive language, not suspense, for example. Okay. And we still cannot lie about our product. We cannot say that it is, for example, anything. Don't lie about your product. Everything has to be true. All right. And then first we need to have a plan. In your planning frame, you will mention 4 things. You describe the product, what makes your biscuit different to the rival's biscuit or your competitors, what makes it better. Audience, decide who our audience are, who will eat your biscuit, and are they different to the people who are going to buy it. If yes, you need to direct your speech to the people who are going to buy and also mention the people who are going to eat, right? You need to make the persons who are going to buy it feel that it's easy to buy and it's not expensive, and so on. And the people who are going to eat it, you need to make them feel that it's very delicious. Comes in a variety of flavors, like again we said coffee, strawberry, chocolate, hazelnut chocolate, almonds chocolate, and so on. What do they currently buy?
Miss, can we say that it's valid for all ages?
Yes. What do they currently buy? Which kind of biscuit, for example, do they buy currently, like now, these days? Why should they buy your biscuit instead? So, for example, here in number 3, you need to put all like, if they are buying Lwaker, I need to mention how is my biscuit better than Lwaker. If they're buying digestive, I need to mention how is my biscuit better than digestive. If they're buying Tuk, right? The salty one.
Miss, but on Sunday we have a monthly exam for math.
Okay, I'll ask Miss Rehan to make sure, and if not, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, what to do. I'll see and let you know on NMS.
Okay.
All right. So, why should we buy your biscuit instead? Again, so decide or put all the products in front of you, all the biscuit products in front of you, and see how you're going to mention that yours is better than Lwaker, than Tuk, than digestive, than any other kind of biscuit in the market. And how are you going to make your audience aware that your product exists? Which means which media you're going to use. Advertising media. The advertising media. Okay. So moving on. Sorry. So your advertising. So after the planning, we go to the advertising. Here it is. Discuss. Can someone meet? Like Yasin?
Are Yasin here?
Yasin? Okay, then can we have Haya?
Yes, miss.
Yes, read your advertising part. Discuss.
Your advertising. Biscuits
Discuss.
was the best place to advertise your biscuit.
Thank you. Discuss the best places to advertise your biscuit. So, where you should advertise your biscuit? Huh?
What media
Mm?
will you use to advertise it? TV, radio, newspaper, and magazines. Posters,
This
internet.
is magazines.
Hmm?
What is magazines?
Magazines like food magazines. Wait, let me show you one.
It's like books and it's like a book.
Guys, what can you see now?
Okay, I know.
What can you see now?
I understood.
What can you see? I'm asking.
The page.
The book?
Yes.
Okay.
A convention is the best.
Combination. It means that
Miss,
you can do.
what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Nothing. What?
Oh.
Anyone can contribute ideas but decide who will be in charge of noting your ideas and collecting your writing from both media types.
All right. So here you're going to do that. Not anyone. It's just you because we're making it individually. So first, again, we said what media will you use to advertise it? TV or radio or newspapers and magazines or posters or internet? And it says here a combination is the best. So first, discuss the places. Is it going to be in schools or in malls? You can make posters and give them to people in the mall or on the street or beside a supermarket. So these are the places. And what media will you use to advertise it? Again, we said that to use a combination, maybe TV and newspapers and magazines, or TV and posters, or internet. If you know
Miss,
that
we are
your audience.
You are Simon.
Yeah, we are fasting, yes. I know after iftar, inshallah, we're going to get the biscuit. Okay, so what media will you use? Again, we said you can use a combination and based on your audience. You choose the media based on your audience. If your audience are old people who are not into internet, are we going to use it? No. If my audience are like guys your age, you're going to of course use internet and TV. Are you going to use newspaper? Like you guys, if you are the audience, do you read newspapers and food magazines? Huh? No, right? So there is no need to use newspapers and magazines, for example, for like kids like you or your age. But internet is yes. But if it's younger, like if it's 6 years old, is internet good for them? No, because they probably don't know how to use it. So I can use posters and I can also use it. All right. So anyone can contribute ideas. We said this is an off point as you're going to do everything. All right, let's see here the medias that we have. Newspapers, magazines, television, radio, and internet. So what do you think the advantages, the good things about newspapers and what are the bad things about it? You can tell me.
I don't know.
Think. Okay, let's read magazines. Magazines. The advantages of magazines are you can target an audience that has a particular interest, for example, through food magazines. So the advantage is that you know who are your audience very well and you know what they are interested in. If it's food, then of course they're going to be interested in food magazines, so put it in food magazines. If it's a game, a toy, put it in kids magazines. So you target the audience that you want. You target very limited audience, which is good because you know it makes it like direct to the audience that you want. Newspapers, huh? What could be the advantage of a newspaper? Newspapers, is it expensive, for example? So here in newspaper, the advantage, it's not expensive and
We like this?
everybody has access to it. Oh, yes.
Miss?
Yeah. What's
Miss, if there is... wait a minute. Miss, if there is this... Miss, if there is this disadvantage, I say it or don't say it or what? If there is disadvantage, I
Yes.
say it or don't say it or what?
Yes. Okay, here you are making this for yourself to decide which media you're going to use. So you're making advantage slash disadvantage for each media. So you're going at the end to decide which media you're going to use based on the disadvantage and advantages of each. So Hannah,
If there is something wrong in what they will buy, I change it and fix it or don't say it or what?
what do you mean? What are you saying?
Miss, if there is a disadvantage, even if it's a little, say it or fix it or what?
Okay, here I'm not talking about the disadvantage of my product. I'm talking about the disadvantage of advertising my product on or using this media, a newspaper or magazine.
Okay, miss, so don't say, but when they decide to buy it, we have to say what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage, what is the good,
No. I'm not talking about my product. I'm talking about the media. I'm brainstorming for myself. This is a brainstorm for my own self to decide which media I need to use. For example, now I don't know what to buy. I don't know what to buy. A laptop or a phone or an iPad. I will sit and write the advantages and disadvantages of the laptop and the advantages and disadvantages of the iPad, and the same for the phone. And I see who has the lots or more advantages, and then at the end I will decide that I'm going to buy, for example, the iPad because it's like a mobile phone, like it's like a laptop, I mean, that I can carry with me. Its size is good, and it's also lightweight, not like laptops, they're very heavy. And it's also small, I can take it in my bag, for example. So here you're deciding the advantages and disadvantages of the media to decide which media you're going to use, not of your product. Okay? So here, advantages of newspapers is that they are not expensive and accessible to everyone. Not expensive enough. The disadvantages
Miss, the
Is that-
session should finish from 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, so it's fine. Okay, you can leave, but I will continue the record and then upload it. Like, I'll just continue this part as a record. If you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to leave, you can leave, of course.
Miss, can you make it fast because I have to finish something fast.
Yes, sure. So the disadvantages here: targets less people, and you cannot use illustrations. Illustrations are drawings. You cannot, for example, use lots of pictures to catch the eyes of the audience. Okay, magazines, you can target an audience that has a particular interest, but the disadvantage is not everybody is interested in reading magazines. And it costs more than newspaper. It's a little bit expensive than newspaper. So here, interested in reading magazines. Okay. Okay, what about the television? What are the advantages of television? It's full of advantages. You can mention one, Haya or Mariam, Abdurrahman. All right, I'll say it then. The television, the advantages of television is that it
Miss, could I
reaches
leave and you will put the video
wide range of people. What are you saying,
Miss,
Abdurrahman?
could I leave and you will put the video on
Yes.
the IMS?
Yes, sure. It reaches wide range of people, like lots of people, and it also has good illustrations. And maybe you're going to use a song, video, audio aids, and visual aids. All right, and the disadvantages is that it's expensive. You can change your advert, that's in the radio. The advantages is that you can change your advert quickly if it's not working. But the disadvantages, it doesn't have visual aids or lots of illustrations or no illustrations at all. So disadvantages, no illustrations, visual aids, and doesn't reach wide range of people, or it's not accessible to everyone. Not everybody is interested in listening to radio. The internet, advantages and disadvantages. All right. So the advantages of internet, it's accessible to almost everyone, and it's not as expensive as the TV. But what are the disadvantages? It does not target the very old or very young All right. So that was it regarding the advertising campaign in this lesson. Goodbye.